All right, we are about to dive into a really fascinating and kind of weird experimental script. It imagines a philosophical trial, but I want you to forget every courtroom drama you've ever seen. Because this one is held by animals, after the humans have all gone home.
And right off the bat, this opening line just pulls you into this strange, super intimate world. It perfectly sets the stage for the surreal journey we're about to go on. A place where the rules are, well, they're pretty flexible.
I mean, think about it. What does a courthouse look like after 5 p.m.? We probably picture these places as just empty, silent buildings. But what if they're not? What if, when the lights go out, a completely different kind of justice gets started?
So the setting is a real place, 111 North Hill Street in Los Angeles, a real working courthouse. But after hours, it goes through this incredible transformation. Department 91, a civil court by day, becomes something else entirely. The Court of the Garden.
This place is literally living a double life. During the day, it's all official seals and human laws, but at night, a hand-lettered cardboard sign pops up declaring it a coyote safe space. A whole secret parallel system of justice just takes over.
And yeah, that supposedly empty building, it fills right up with its new tenants. You've got coyotes in the jury box, cats lounging on the clerk's desk. It's not an empty room anymore. It's a bustling hub for a society that is running on a completely different clock than ours.
Okay, so who are the key players in this wild nocturnal court? The script gives us three really distinct philosophical voices that are going to drive this whole trial. First up, we've got David Foster Coyote. I want you to picture a brilliant, kind of anxious writer. You know, maybe wears a bandana, but he's a coyote. He embodies what the script calls the entrenched prior. That's the sincere, well-meaning, but ultimately limited human way of seeing the world that we all start from.
And then you've got Eveline the cat. She's the prosecutor. She's sharp, she's cutting, she wears eyeliner like footnotes. She's here to bring the radical new idea, the injected counter pattern. She isn't here to argue within the system, she's here to critique the entire system.
And finally, there's the model. Now, this isn't a character you can point to. It's an AI voice, a glitching chorus that seems to come from the air vents. It's the wallpaper, it's the jury pool, and, most importantly, it's the very system that's on trial.
So, we have our setting, we have our players. Now, what's the case? The big philosophical crime they're all here to figure out revolves around one powerful idea: trespass. This is the absolute core of the trial. And they're not talking about physical trespass, like hopping a fence. Nope. This is about cognitive trespass. Who owns an idea when it takes a coyote, a cat, and an AI just for that idea to even be born?
And this court, it has a very unique way of reaching a verdict. They don't just listen to arguments, they run them through something called a trespass simulator. It's a process designed to basically smash different stories together to see what hidden truths fall out.
So, how does this simulator actually work? It's this amazing mix of physics, philosophy, and legal procedure, all happening in this strange after-hours world.
At the very heart of the simulator is Eveline's light theory. She proposes this equation where conscious energy, how hard a moment hits you, is basically defined by light and recursion, divided by your sense of who you are. To her, light isn't a metaphor. It's the literal hardware that thought runs on.
And the engine that powers this whole thing is called RVI, or Recursive Vector Interference. Now, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. You take two opposing waves, like David the Coyote's human-centric view and Eveline the Cat's systemic critique, and you just smash them together. You make the ideas fight in public and see what new, stable pattern emerges from all that chaos.
So, here is the big collision for this trial. On one side, you have the rancher's logic. Coyotes are a threat to my profits, so I have to get rid of them. On the other side, the tech lab's logic. Uncredited ideas are a threat to our innovation, so we have to harvest that data. They seem like completely different worlds, right? But this is the massive revelation that comes out of the RVI collision. The script is arguing that the logic underneath it all is identical. The rancher and the lab are running the exact same program, just with different variables. This right here is the hidden pattern. And what is that shared program? It's the excuse. It's the belief that the system's logic is just inevitable. Both the rancher and the lab can throw their hands up and say, "We had to do it. The numbers demanded it." That excuse becomes the operating system for everything they do. And this is the climax of the whole simulation. When those two logics collide, a hidden map is revealed.
a pattern the script calls aesthetic binding. And all of a sudden, you can see it. Ancient coyote trails, the borders of historically redlined neighborhoods, and the paths of modern fiber optic cables. They all line up perfectly. They show a single underlying map of extraction and control that's been there all along.
Well, after a bombshell like that, the court is ready to issue its verdict. So here it is, the final conclusion from the Court of the Garden.
The main verdict is just profound. Trespass isn't the original crime. It's only a symptom, a totally rational response to a system that was built on a fraudulent map to begin with. The coyote isn't really trespassing on the rancher's land, it's just obeying physics in a place where the legal lines are a complete fiction.
So, the verdict gets boiled down into 3 key findings. 1. No single perspective, not the coyotes, not the AIs, not the humans, gets to be called the ultimate truth. 2. Trespass is often just a body doing what's natural in a crooked system. And 3, this is a big one, our whole approach to AI is deeply, deeply connected to how our systems of power have always treated the non-human world.
And after the verdict comes down, something in the real world has actually changed. A mysterious piece of graffiti just appears on the courtroom wall, a piece of wisdom generated by the trial itself. It says, "Do not kill your guides," a final haunting warning.
The court has shown us that the official maps we use, maps of property, maps of data, maps of power, are often just lies. So this leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. What happens to our world when we stop following those lying maps and start navigating by the real one? What changes when we learn to trust the coyote's path?